The 9019 is one of Jinhao's newest offerings, but is this pen worth getting? We take a closer look at this pen in today's video. I tell you what I like and what I don't like about it, and we do a writing sample, and then you can decide whether this is the pen for you, or maybe just another one to add to your collection. Let's take a closer look. Well, let's have a closer look at the Jinhao. This is the 9019 Dadao, and one of the first things you will notice with this pen is that it's substantially large. It's not a small pen by any means. In fact, if we had to maybe just put it alongside something else, I have a Pilot Metropolitan and a Lamy All-Star, and this gives us just some idea of the size of this pen. It's very in length, very similar to the Lamy, slightly longer, and slightly longer than the Pilot Metropolitan as well. Apart from its length, it's also quite a thick pen, I would say. It is a twist cap, and it opens in two and a half rotations to open. The gold accent on the clip and the center band is really beautiful. It's not overdone. The clip just says Jinhao, and on the center band we have Jinhao Dadao and 9019. Nothing else at the top or the bottom. Classic cigar shape pen, really classic look. Let me put these two away. Cap unscrews, and we have beautiful dual tone nib there. It's a basic steel nib. This is a fine, by the way. We have some threads, and the threads are plastic on plastic, so I think that won't wear too much. Also, the threads are very smooth. You really don't feel it, and if you hold the pen as well, you absolutely don't feel the threads at all. Tapers down slightly and then flares out, and it's got a little bit of grip right at the bottom of the section there, which I think really will just stop your fingers from slipping over and getting ink on there. The nib is quite large, I think. While I'm sure compared to some pens it's not that large, but let's say, for example, compared to the Pilot Metropolitan, it's a fairly large nib there. You can also see when we compare it to the Metropolitan the width of the section. So if you have smaller hands, this is maybe not that comfortable to grip. I don't know. I guess it's a very personal thing in terms of preference. The barrel unscrews, and it's quite tight when you start to unscrew it, because we have an O-ring sitting right there, which is really nice. So when you screw the barrel closed, it goes on really tight and it seals very well there. So that's a nice little extra from Jinhao. Here we have metal threads on plastic, but again these threads are very smooth. Don't think it will do any damage. The pen comes with a converter, which is a really nice touch from Jinhao. I think all pens should come with a converter. Really nice converter too. It's got the same gold accents as the nib and the clip. It just says Jinhao. This one doesn't have a lot of ink in at the moment, but it has enough. It's a fairly large converter. I haven't measured how much ink this will take, but certainly larger than most other converters that I have. So that's a nice touch, I think. Like I said, the pen is quite large. If I hold it though, no need to post the pen, but if you wanted to, you could post it, and it can post quite securely. Yes, but I don't think I would need to post it. Perhaps you might if you wanted some weight at the back. The pen holds very comfortably. Like I said, it's a little thick on the section, but not uncomfortable so for me. If we just go back to the cap, the clip is very grippy or springy, shall I say, but it's very usable. It's not too tight at all. I really love that the center band sits right at the end of the cap. I suppose part of it is just functional in that it will prevent the cap from cracking or wearing, but it also looks really good. Like I said, it's not overdone. It's just enough to provide a really classy look for this pen. The build quality feels really good. It feels really solid. This pen is not light, it is not heavy. It's a very comfortable weight. I didn't weigh it, but it's a really comfortable weight. It comes in a range of colors. This one I liked the best. There's also a clear demonstrator model, and all of the colors actually look really good, but this one caught my eye. So build quality, I think really good. I know that some of the pens that Jinhao produces, the build quality is not that great, but I have to say that this one definitely feels like a quality pen. Let's do a writing sample and see how this pen performs. Alright, let's see how this pen performs. This is the Jinhao Dadao 9019 with a medium nib. The ink I'm using, Diamine Oxblood. So this pen writes very nicely. It is a medium and it feels like a medium. The nib is very smooth, and it almost has a bit of a spring to it. I don't know if it's because of the size of the nib, but it feels quite soft. And if you put a tiny bit of pressure there, it's not like you can get a lot of line variation, but a little bit. Yes, I mean, I wouldn't play around with the nib too much. I wouldn't test it to its breaking point, but it certainly has a little bit of bounce to it, at least to the extent that I can say that it feels really soft on the paper. It doesn't have a hard feel to it, and that's very comfortable to write with. Although it's a larger pen, it holds very comfortably, I must say. The pen is decently wet. Ink flow is really good. When I write with this pen, if I'm doing a lot of writing, it does feel a little bit like it, I wouldn't say that it struggles to keep up, but it does become slightly drier as you write. But I have not been able to get it to skip or dry out as I write. But when you start writing with it, it's definitely a little bit wetter, and as you go on. But the ink flow certainly keeps up. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's a very comfortable pen to write with, actually. I think this pen will do really well whether you are using it to just take notes or whether you want to do some substantial writing with it. I think it's comfortable enough. There's nothing about the pen that's uncomfortable. It is a really comfortable pen, and even the size does not, I don't think it will really tire my hand as I write, even if I have to do quite a bit of writing, because you don't have to really grip it. It just lies there in your hand quite comfortably, and because you've got really good ink flow, I mean, I'm not using any pressure there. You could do, sorry about that, you could do a lot of writing. I mean, just the weight of the pen. Yeah, slightly drier than I necessarily might have wanted it, but again, not a problem at all. So in summary, what can I say about this pen? I think at the price point, this is really good value for money. It is really good build quality. There's absolutely nothing wrong there. It's solidly built. It looks really good. It performs well. There's really nothing, that I could actually complain about, except to say that when you get this pen, it's a bit larger than perhaps you imagined. But that's part of the character of this pen. I think that is what it's supposed to look like, if that makes any sense. And yes, I think this is again, at the price point, I think it offers more value than you would expect at the price at which it sells. So would I recommend this? Absolutely. I don't think you can go wrong at this price point. I think it's a beautiful pen that performs really well at an absolutely entry-level price point. I doubt that anybody would be disappointed, and there are really nice colors to choose from, so you don't necessarily have to get just one. Even I think the demonstrator model would look really good as well, so I might just pick that one up in a fine at some point. Well, there you have it. Jinhao Dadao 9019. I will see you next time. If you like my videos, please remember to subscribe, to like the video, leave a comment in the comment section. If you already have one of these, please let me know how you find them, whether you agree or disagree, and whether you would recommend this pen to someone.